friends. In this week's Uke Minutes, we're going to go over a special little ragtime technique known as the Pluck Strum. And it is kind of exactly what it says it is. We're first going to pluck a note, and then we're going to strum a note. So we're going to coax out a louder melodic note while still playing the chords. This is a technique that Roy Smeck used quite a bit, and it works well in those old-time pieces. So let's work first on getting the correct plucking sound out. Now, there are numerous ways that we can do this on our instrument, but I find this to be the most logical in most situations. So for our pluck, we're essentially going to be doing an up strum. We're going to take our first finger and you'll just curl it under a little bit, and you're going to hook it under the string that you're going to pluck. In this lesson, we're only going to use the A string, and the vast majority of the time, that's what you'll see because that's the easiest string to do these melodic lines on. But what we want to do is make a percussive sound with this. This is what we would call a Bartok pizz in the classical world, which is a fancy way of saying that we're going to pull the string up instead of strumming down or strumming up. We're actually going to pull the string up and let it hit against the fretboard. And what that's going to do is give us the melodic sound as well as a rhythmic hit. So it has this jarring sound to it outside of just playing. We hear that instead, which is really nice. So let's practice doing that, and I'm going to show you the line that happens in the turnaround of the song Bye Bye Blues. So what we're going to do is we're just going to walk down our melody from the 5th fret, this D, and then to the 3rd fret, a C, B on the 2nd fret, open A, and then we're going to go back up to the C, and we're going to walk down from there. So C on the 3rd fret, B on the 2nd fret, A, open, and then we're going to play a G on the 3rd fret of our E string. So if we do this with our pluck, it'll sound like this, and these will all be half notes, so 2 beats apiece, as we're going to put the strum in between each of these notes. So it will sound like this. So let's try that together. Remember, half notes, so 2 beats apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we need to add the chords in behind this, and luckily this is fairly simple. While there are other variations of this turnaround, we're going to use the most simplistic form of this, which is just a 1 and a 5, so C major, and then G7th. And the G7th is going to happen when we go back up to the C. So when we're starting out on the C major chord, that means that all we have to do is play open, 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 and whatever melody note is on the A string here. And then we'll switch to G7th, like that. So let's strum through the chords with the movement, and then let's add in the pluck strum itself. So we'll do 2 beats again and just hold it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to G7th. Good, so now we have in our ear what we want to ultimately hear harmonically. Now let's add in this pluck strum technique. So we've already done the pluck. When we do the strum on this, instead of strumming with our first fingers we generally would on the instrument, we're going to use our thumbs. We're going to end up using this rocking motion. And what you can do first is practice this entire motion on just open strings. So you'll pluck your A string and then strum the other 3. So it's going to look a little bit something like this. So it's really an up strum with the first finger hitting against the fingerboard, and then a down strum with the thumb coming down. So that's going to be kind of backwards of what you're used to. So it might take a little bit to get used to. It ends up being this sort of rocking motion between our fingers. And you'll see that my fingers themselves are not moving very much. This is almost similar to claw hammer technique, except with this up strum instead of a hammer down to start with. So once you get used to this, then we can try it just with the melody notes without adding in the chords at all. So we'll still have that C major going because it's the open strings, but we won't switch to the G yet, just to make it a little bit easier for us. So we can do it like this. So let's try that together with just the open strings. Now these are going to be all quarter notes now because we will have melody note strum, melody note strum. So it'll be 1 beat apiece. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we can add in the simple chord change that's in here. So when we get back to the C coming from the open A, we're going to switch over to a G7 with that C in the treble voice. So our line will sound like this. G7. All right, let's try that together nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is our pluck strum, and it might take a little bit for you to get your hands around this with the correct motion, because it is a little counterintuitive compared to what we are used to. So I'm finishing up a course right now over on Patreon on a full arrangement of Bye Bye Blues, and this will be used in there as well as a bunch of other strumming techniques. So if you like what I do, please consider joining us over there. It's just a simple monthly membership of anywhere from $1 to $10, and you get additional resources with every single lesson that I put out, which isn't too bad bang for your buck. So please join us over there, and I'll see y'all next week.